and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave move through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yea, wave for the land under the fray, and the home of the brave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Freedom Network. I'm Gary Rosenberg, your host. So glad that you joined us once again. We've been gone for a little bit. The weather has played some tricks on our programs, but we're back. You should see the parking lot, man. Woo! Let me tell you, there's a lot of snow out there. We all know there's a lot of snow out there. If you're listening to us and you live in the Massachusetts area, let me tell you, we have got some kind of snow out there. But it's behind us. The next storm, it's going to be nothing. Couple of inches. Don't worry about it. There's your weather forecast right here on the Freedom Network. Anyway, so glad that you joined us. Make sure you find our new page. We have a new page on Facebook, the Freedom Network. Give us a like and a share if you would. You can always send me a message. The group, the Freedom Network, is also on Facebook and growing every day. Just growing every single day. If you find me on Facebook, just ask to join the group. We'll approve you into the group side. Also on Facebook is NNC, which we started a group, Northbridge Needs Change. Our email is timagary@gmail.com, and you can email anytime. We take them live, and as always, you can pick up the phone, and you can give us a call. All that information, of course, is right there on your screen as you're watching. All options are on the table. If you want to be involved, you can be involved. If you want to sit back and listen, that's fine. You can sit back and listen. It's all good. Way too many emails to go over. We had a problem last week with emails. They weren't coming through. We have fixed the problem, we believe, with emails. We did respond to all of them. So everybody should have got one back. If you didn't, send another one because it's somewhere in cyberspace. But we had, when we got off the air and I got home and just checked the email, let me tell you, there were over 25 of them that we had missed. So we do apologize for that, but technology is what it is. There's not much you can do, so we move forward. But we were able to get some on, and that was great. And I will get a follow-up on the status of the cable. I hear the deal might not have been approved. I don't have any specifics, so you got to wait until I can get Harry back in here, and we'll get him back. We'll find him. Maybe if he comes in early, we can grab him for a minute. But I got a ton of stuff to do today. We have to make up a lot of ground, folks. We got a lot of ground to make up. So in any event, I did want to just say, I did get an email just a little while ago. My liberal friends, they watch the shows, about 3 or 4 guys. They email me all the time. We fight back and forth, all in good fun. It's okay to disagree with people, you know what I mean? That's all right. That's what America's all about. And they have a poll that they do every time they watch a show. How long into it will it be before I bash Obama? So they are watching. I want to say hello to you fellas tonight. Thanks for watching, and you can always call in and debate or send the emails. I know you'd rather do it that way. That's fine too. You're watching us on NCTV 191 if you live in Northbridge, Mass. We're online at nctv11.org from anywhere. And thank you for joining us tonight right here on the Freedom Network. The lines are open for any topic. First, And you can interrupt me at any time. It doesn't bother me. I have it all written down right here. I'll keep track of it. If you want to talk about something, and if you live out of the area and we're talking about something local and you want to bring up something national, go for it. If I don't get to it right here on the program today, we may get to it on another program. And also, we may just butt right into what we're doing if you bring up a good topic that maybe some people may want to talk about. So, first I want to talk about the town. We broadcast right here out of Northbridge, Massachusetts, in those beautiful studios here at NCTV. Great staff, great place, nice little town here in Northbridge. But let me tell you, a lot of politics go on in this town of Northbridge, but they do in every town across the entire country. Northbridge is no different, and it's a nice town. Nice people. I've met a whole bunch of nice people since I've been up here. As you know, again, we are talking about overrides. We're talking about funding the schools and even other things in town. The last time this was a town topic, it got rather heated. And in the end, many people wanted the same thing, but I think that we had different paths to get there. I mean, we went from fighting and things of that nature. I remember being gavelled off the podium at a town meeting. Things got a little bit heated, I guess. Anyway, over the past several months, I've been reaching out to people, and people have been reaching back out to me that want the override. We've been talking. We've created some dialogue together. I'm trying to engage them, and to be honest with you, they're engaging back, which is really nice to see. That's basically all I guess we wanted in the first place. I really have to say things this time do look a little bit different to me for various different reasons. I'll try to hit on some of them now. And I know this stuff strikes a chord with a lot of local people. And if you're in a different town, you've had overrides and things of that nature. How did that go in your town? I'd be interested to know. You can send it or you can call it in. We all want to help the schools. But, folks, at the end of the day, I don't know that anybody that doesn't want to see the schools have what they need. How we get it, I guess, is where we all kind of fall on different sides of the line that goes down. The issue to me, and I will tell you hundreds of local viewers to this program, and we have no ratings or way of seeing it. We have what we can get in emails, and I will tell you that hundreds and hundreds of people, once we got up here and started talking about this, really did start to open up. And over the past several months, I've been reconnecting with some of those people from some old emails and stuff like that. The issue to me and to the viewers and to the people, I guess you could say they in my camp. Maybe I'm in their camp. I don't think I'm a camp leader. I think I just get on television or radio, as I have on and off for a long time, half my life, and I talk about stuff. Sometimes people like what I have to say. Sometimes they don't. But I think we can move forward in the town. We just wanted to see some effort from the town government. I just don't want to see every time that this is all we can do, this is what we've done, and if you want to have, it always comes down to the kids, to your personal services. There's always seems to be money for everything else, right? I mean, not everything, but the town spends millions of dollars. And it does get you a little bit when you think about why can't we put the schools first? If that's what's so important to people, why can't we do that? It's our town. So that kind of got the thing kicking and kind of got the conversation going a little bit again. Like I've said many times, we have 3 groups in town. All right. We have never vote for the override. About a third of the people in this town. You're going to lose that vote every time. It almost doesn't even make sense to go try to talk to Paul, let's say, that'll be up on 3 and 11 in just another 50 minutes, actually. He's never going to vote yes. You're not going to get him. So I don't know if you really want to spend your time trying to convince him. That would be up to you. You're going to have about a third of the people that are always going to vote for that override. Doesn't matter what it's for. Doesn't matter why. They like taxes high. They're progressive, more liberal Democrat voters. And sometimes even independent and moderate Republican voters. So you've got those people, though, they like taxes. They're all over the country, and let me tell you, they're in this state, and they're certainly in this town. Then you've got another third of the people that can go either way, depending on the full package results and benefits of what we're actually doing. Look, I'm a fiscal conservative. I never want to talk about raising taxes. It's never something that I want to do. It's never something that I think should be a first choice. I don't feel just because taxes are low in Northbridge, they're the lowest in the valley, that on that basis alone we should say we should raise taxes. I don't believe that. The taxes are what they are. People have moved to this town, many of them because of those reasons, and the people that lived here before so many people came to town. What about that? And don't they have some say in their town? I guess it's everybody's town, right? So, as a fiscal conservative, it pains me sometimes to talk about these things, but when you can get through some of the baloney and you can get into the nitty gritty of what's going on and stop the you know what, you can start to see maybe a picture and see what's going on, and people can see where you're coming from and you can see where they're coming from. And I think that's the most important thing, is that you do have to have some of that back and forth. So at the same time, excuse me, if we're going to entertain a discussion about raising taxes, okay, in the town, the people in that last group are the ones that need some concessions from the town. It's up to them to listen a little bit. I think they do need to listen to what we are saying. We're a constituency, and we're a constituency that can tip the scales probably one way or the other. In any event, last time that didn't happen. We were shut out for even suggesting such a thing. We were, and that's what happened. But we moved forward. This time it is different. I'm able to put aside the past and move forward, and I've learned that many others out there are able to do the same thing. Walking around town, talking to people, emails, phone calls, Facebooks, you say it, we're on it. And I have seen a lot of bending and a lot of willingness to talk and to give a little bit. Because I don't do well with the all or nothing. I just don't do well with it, and I know a lot of my viewers don't do well with it either. After all, excuse me, I am forever getting over a cold here. It's not about us, but it's, if we're talking about funding schools, which is what I'd like to keep the scope of that too, at this time especially, it's not about us, right? It's about the kids. So as we go back and forth, I think we're all starting to realize that on all sides, and we should take a look and see what we can maybe agree upon. In the spirit of working together, we've made progress. We've made amends. That's good. Something that you can't see on the national level today. You just don't see it. We actually have a meeting with the town manager next week. And Elizabeth, I know you're out there watching. You really came through with that, doing an immense amount for the town and for people. She's not a professional. It's not what she does for her. She said, this is what I'm going to do with my days and with my future. I know that, Elizabeth, but you've been doing a really good job of reaching out across that aisle and trying to include everybody and try to come to a consensus. No one's going to get everything they want. And if it's an all or nothing game, probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. But we do have that meeting with the town manager. And as a matter of fact, it's on February 9th at 5 o'clock. It's at the town hall. I am going to be able to attend this meeting. We'll have some input, but I want your input as well. Now, you can attend the meeting if you do so choose. If you want to send a question, send it to timorgary@gmail.com. In the subject line, I really need you to put question for the TM in the subject line. And I'd like to say it's nice that the town manager has agreed to have a meeting. I can't see anything if someone's waving at me. No one's waving at me? Okay. It's the lights, folks. The lights, let me tell you, the lights. But February 9th at 5, or email me your questions at timorgary@gmail.com. Put question for TM in the subject line. I want to hear what the town manager has to say. I do. And I want to thank him for meeting with the people on the very important issue. We've been, always tough on government. And I'm always going to be tough on government. I think you got to be tough on government. The standards got to be high, and they got to rise to the occasion. And you know what? In all honesty, the town manager in this case has risen to the occasion. We also, I do believe, Elizabeth, just confirm an email. I think we have some other guests that are going to be some with us. Is Dave going to be with us, or is in any event? I never can be too sure about the email. If you want to call me. Let me know if you want to get that out there. But we do have elected officials, statewide elected officials, coming that represent us to hear as well with the people in the town, which is just so fantastic. It's just so fantastic. It really, really is, because, when you see that, it really means something. It really, 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 really does mean something. And I think if I'm getting this email right, the superintendent, I think, will be there. State Rep Meridian, he's going to be there. And it's interesting. He was on my property where I live, and he was looking for votes at the time. I wasn't there. I didn't get a chance to meet him, so that'll be nice to do so. And I just think that it's great that it's going to happen. And and I've already got some questions popping in, which is really great, folks. Keep the questions coming in. You have, take over the next 24 to 48 hours or so, and try to send them in. Just try to send them in. Let me see here. I'm just trying to fish through some of these emails, because I'm not going to read all the questions on the air. I don't want to do that. And folks, really, you can just spare me the, I hate this one stinks, this is that. Just, I don't, we can go over that, and trust me, this is a great platform to do so on the Freedom Network. Not so much at the meeting, but I want real questions. I don't want fluff. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you think. What would you like to ask the town manager? Why is it that you want to raise taxes is just a very broad question. Get in there, drill down, and get in there. Let's see. All right, this is an anonymous caller that turned into email. My eyes, I'm going to tell you something. Yes, I know my wife is right now saying that I got to get to the eye doctor, and I do. How can anyone support an override for additional funding for the schools when last year there were pictures in the newspaper of a giant ball fight during instructional time and a movie being shown during instructional time? That's interesting. That is interesting, and I know you wanted that out on the air, and it's a great question. I've said this before, perception becomes reality. It's irrelevant whether you do the dishes every single day, right? If every single time John Smith comes over to your house, there's dishes in the sink, and he comes over once every 2 weeks, he will think that the perception of him is that there's always dishes in the sink. It doesn't matter if the sink is clean at all other times. And I do think that we have to have a look at some of this type of stuff. If we're going to be down to bare bones, what are we funding at bare bones, and what could we then take away? That's a good example of these kinds of questions that we want to get out there. And again, I won't read them all, just a couple of them here and there as they pop in if they seem interesting while we're talking about it. And if you want to keep talking about it, we can, and we can certainly move on to other topics. I've got several, and your pool will come to an end tonight. I don't know what you guys have bet, but Obama is going to have some trouble with me tonight. So anyway, email them, Tim or Gary, gmail.com, questions for the town manager in the subject line. People have questions, so ask them. Tough but fair. I'm fine. I don't want to sugarcoat anything, but I also we don't need to go down that other path, especially in this situation. If we can get the town to meet us somewhere as a percent to budget to get more money to the schools, then I would do the same, and I think a lot of people in town will do the same. Meet in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Maybe I have to give more. Maybe you have to give more. I don't know. Maybe the town needs to step up further, and wherever that is, there's gotta be. Remember in the movie The Jerk, which you could win in that shelf? Stewie, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'd like to hear what the town manager has to say, and I commend him for coming to the meeting. I think it's fantastic. Let's meet in the middle. Let's find something we can all agree on and vote, maybe for increasing taxes, a conservative amount to get even more money to the schools. But there's got to be something. I've never before, and I may never again sit here, so you can mark the day. You can mark the day. I have never advocated for higher taxes. I don't know that I will ever be able to do so again, but I'm leaning toward it just from what I'm seeing from some of the people, but I got to get some validation from the town government before I can jump in with both feet. But I'm sitting on the edge of the pool and my legs are in the water, okay? And they're that way because people have come and stepped up, to be quite honest with you. And I think we all got to be able to move on, forgive and forget from time to time. So maybe that costs a couple of bucks. I am willing to work with reasonable people in this case, see what we can get done. For me and many, it has to be a two-way street. We've got to meet in the middle. This can't just be a one-way street. If you want to talk about that, you can call in, email in. We're getting a lot of emails in now about this. Let's see. Gary, are you going to vote yes? This one, Gary, you should have voted yes. I can't. You know what the problem is? I'm a principled person. I really am. And I also believe that, look, Northbridge was actually listed in the top, they rated the schools with, and I wish I had, somebody email me. You know what it was. We were ranked 1700th in the country, for schools that were the most challenging, I believe. And Northbridge was on there. And there were schools right around the corner from us that everybody says are such better schools. And they weren't on that list. So do I think that the teachers in Northbridge provide a quality education to the students? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. Do I think they need an exuberant amount of money to be able to continue to do that? No, I probably don't. But as I have these email conversations with everybody, and this is in some format that let's see, why should the schools get more funds when the DPW, police, and fire get nothing extra? It's a great question. That's a great question, okay? And you know what? I'm going to tell you. I don't know if it's about getting extra. I don't know if it's about getting more. I know that in my mind, the first thing that's most important in the United States of America, okay, is educating the people. Without education, you've got nothing. Now, I understand, of course, you need DPW. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what, and nothing against anybody in the DPW, okay, but let's just face it. You don't drive down the best of roads in Northbridge. Nice job with the snow, though, I will say. Nice job, right? It's all, I think, outside the studio here, but it's a nice job. But you know what? I'm not going to fund the DPW at the expense of the schools. I think we got to find a way to balance that off. And I would be willing to do those. A lot of that DPW stuff can be done through debt exclusion when you need equipment and you need to buy things. I know that we have an issue with snow plows for the sidewalks. So, yeah, those things have to be addressed. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. All right? Emailer and no name or anything, and I'm not looking for one. The police department in Northbridge is way up there. Fantastic outfit. They do a great job. They got a lot of dedicated people working with them. And they do a really, really good job. We've talked about the police department in Northbridge a lot on this program, always in a positive light. They're fantastic. But I don't know that anyone should get anything extra. I think what you need is what you need to run your department. That's what you need. It's a small town. It's going to be a small budget. You could take this conversation and blow it all the way up that we're going to fix the town hall. Let's just raise taxes and let's raise that debt limit, which is really what you're doing. And let's put it up there. Let's just go for it, right? And there's a lot of people that I know are watching right now as the emails come in that want to have something like that happen. I don't want to live in a high tax town. I don't want that. That's my opinion. That doesn't mean that I don't want to live in a town that funds what it should. So let's look at, where are the other towns tax-wise? How can we stay below them and still make some progress and still make some headway and still make something happen? It's got to be a way. I'm open for ideas. And the emailer that did send that one in that we were just talking about, I can drive down the roads and I can see my child getting educated, and I see a great police force and a very dedicated fire department, which we need to look beyond that and really take a look at what those other budget pieces are. What are those numbers? go try to find out what the town actually has in taxes. That's definitely a question. What are the budgets? What are the unfunded mandates and all that? There's a lot of stuff that goes into a school that you don't have an option but to fund. And you have to take that into consideration also. So there's a lot of back and forth on it. Keep the emails coming. I'll either get to them on the air or I will reply to you. I will get your questions over. I will get your questions over to that town manager, and I will get them with Elizabeth and all that kind of stuff. It just seems to be that the town's willing to come and they're willing to talk. The town government wants to talk. When the head honcho, when the town manager says, look, let's talk, and your state reps say, hey, we want to join you, and your superintendent wants to come and speak and or at least be there and be available for questions, to me that means that, this is not something that the town said, we're going to have a meeting on this and we'll control this and we'll do this and that. This was something that Elizabeth asked to do and got some people involved in a real grassroots effort, and she's got some traction on it. I think we got to see it through to the end and see where it goes and where we wind up afterwards. And in our next program, I'll certainly recap the entire thing for you. I'm certainly not looking for a, hey, look, I decided to meet with y'all, but I'm not budging and there's nothing that we can do. Nothing. Well, if there's nothing that you can do, that again, that's a bad taste in my mouth. So you know what? We got to see what it is. But why should they get more funds or extra funds? Like I said, man, no one should get extra funds. It's government. They have no money. It's all my money. It's all your money. So they should get what they need to run their department. If they're not getting what they need to run their department on an ongoing basis, then we got to talk about that as a town. But we could raise taxes forever. There's no end in sight. If you could just keep raising them and they'll keep spending the money and spending the money, which is why I like a debt exclusion, which is why maybe we should look at debt exclusions and really look at them and get some efforts by some people. And if we need a new ambulance, let's buy one. Let's buy one with a debt exclusion. And then if we're just looking to this whole thing just lit up like you wouldn't believe. And then if we're looking to staff this ambulance, we can then look at how we would fund that, and would we be able to do that within the 2.5% that we may be able to, because we've got the debt exclusion, so we don't need the money for the truck. But we got to get together on one page and go after one thing and fix it. And then we can go after something else and fix it, and something else and fix it, with a fiscal watchdog mentality, with a conservative approach. Conservatives are not against spending money. What we're against is just spending money to spend money. That's where I'm at. I have had, just since we've been on the air, 3 emails. I probably had 15 emails about one subject. Do you have it? You do. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about Jordan. We're going to talk about terrorism. We're going to talk about budgets, State of the Union. We won't get it all in the next 20 minutes, but we'll try. We'll get anything that you'd like to get in, get that on the air. That always takes precedence over everything else. If you want to call in or email, this is the Freedom Network. I'm Gary Rosenberg. This is the ever-requested Government Can.
Hey everybody, gather round. I'm here to give you anything you like. You want free college, energy, mortgages, whatever you like. You have come to the right place. Why? I'll tell you why. Who can take your money?
Who can take your money?
With a twinkle in their eye.
A twinkle in their eye.
Take it all away and give it to some other guy. The government.
The government.
The government can.
The government can.
Who can tax the sunrise?
Who can tax the sunrise?
Who can tax the trees?
Who can tax the trees?
Let you run a business and collect up all the fees. The government.
The government.
Oh, the government can.
The government can.
And the government can, 'cause they mix it up with lies and make it all taste good.
Make it all taste good.
The government takes everything we make to pay for all of their solutions. Healthcare, climate change, pollution. The Constitution. And who can give a bailout?
Who can give a bailout?
Tell us to behave.
Tell us to behave.
And make the founding fathers roll over in the grave. The government.
The government.
Oh, the government can.
The government can.
And the government can, 'cause they mix it up well as they make it all taste good.
Make it all taste good.
The government takes everything we make. They're power hungry and malicious. Their economics are fictitious. Soon we'll have to eat our dishes.
Delicious.
Oh, who can be a failure
Can be a failure
in so many ways?
in so many ways.
And instead of getting fired, hey, we'll give ourselves a raise. The government.
The government.
Oh, the government can.
The government can.
And the government can, 'cause they make it up well as they make it all taste good.
Make it all taste good.
And your Uncle Sam can, 'cause he mixes it well as he makes it all taste good.
Makes it all taste good.
And I feel so good, 'cause the government says I should.
There you go. We've played it probably 10 times already since we've been on the air, but we keep getting requests, so we'll keep playing it. Welcome back to the Freedom Network. I'm hitting a few chords out there, huh? Couple chords out there? Yeah, I can't stay around for the Paul bashing of Gary that may take place later on, so maybe someone will call in, and maybe I'll just call in. I have to travel out of here pretty quick after the program today, but we can fight with each other in between. He'll be pulling in any minute. Look. You can't always be one way. You can't always be one way. I'm very uncomfortable sitting here talking about possibly raising taxes. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably one of the more conservative people you'll run into on the street. But, man, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have to do something. So we got to talk to the town, and we got to see where we're at, and then we got to try to move forward. But not a comfortable spot for me. It's just not a comfortable spot for me. Come to the meeting if you want. It's Monday, February 9th, 5 o'clock, Town Hall. Let's move on. I don't like talking about, I'm uncomfortable talking about raising taxes and things of that nature when I don't know if I'm probably, well, I don't know. We'll see. Hang on a second. Let's see. All right. Someone just wanted to know when it is scheduled. Just tuning in late. When is the meeting scheduled? The meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 9th at 5 o'clock at Town Hall. Is it open to the public? I guess it is open to the public. You want to come? Come. That's fine. If that's a problem, somebody email me real quick that's in the know. I know you're watching, but I think everybody should be and can be welcome. I don't know if everybody's going to get a chance to talk, which is why it's very important that you email in those questions. I know we're going to be talking about this a lot, and it's going to be a very uncomfortable season for me, sitting here trying to get my head around it. I know, viewers, I do know, and Paul, I know about you as well. I don't want to be in the position, but the more and more I'm looking at the facts, the more and more I'm seeing that we have to find some common ground. That doesn't mean that we just keep raising taxes forever. I told you before, and I'll tell you again, I'm not about that. I don't want it, and I'll probably fight against it. But do we need to figure out a way to get the schools consistently more money? Yes. And if the town is willing to say, hey, maybe we can do this, then maybe we do need to say, okay, then maybe we can do this. Okay? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? Paul, I'll leave you my cell phone number. I'm not going to let you beat me up if you're not going to let me in. Not that you wouldn't let me in, but you know what I mean. You guys know. You guys know. All right, let's see. Jordan, King Abdallah, himself. Now, this guy was a general. Vowed to pursue ISIS until his military runs out of fuel and runs out of bullets. He had a closed-door meeting with U.S. lawmakers, followed the release Wednesday of a grisly video showing a captured Jordanian airman being burned alive in a cage by the terrorist army. These ISIS people, let me tell you, We can't get our president to do anything. Obama doesn't do nothing. Nothing. It's lip service. Feed the war machine, but don't actually solve the problem. That's what he's all about. Hey, there you go. 35 and 20 seconds. I made it really far, guys. I made it really far. I know. But Obama is just so all wet on this issue. I don't forget that ISIS was Al Qaeda and splinter group. They became ISIS. We had them beat down. We left. They rose. Just what everyone said would happen. Now, I'll tell you what they did in Jordan. They hung two Al Qaeda terrorists early Wednesday in Jordan. They just hung them. How you doing? You know what I mean? You killed our guy. You burned him alive and horrific. These aren't even human beings. These aren't people. These are scum from the word go. Just sadistic. Military leaders vowed earth-shaking responses proportionate to the magnitude of the tragedy of all Jordanians. But the words of their visibly shaken king, the king, if you saw this, was amazing. Commanded his nation's special forces before assuming the throne in 1999. He knows what he's doing, and he's going to do something about it. Now, I'm not a big fan of most governments over there, but this is what I would call a response, something that our government doesn't seem to be able to do with meaning. It always has to be with, they have to come out and say, well, we know this isn't a representation of all Muslims, and we know that all Muslims are not terrorists, and this is just all this explaining. We get it. We get it. Okay? We get it. All right? Nobody hates every Muslim. We hate terrorists, and we want you to go kick their asses wherever they are. That's what we want you to do. Not fund these wars for 10 and 15 years that mean nothing, where Americans die and we continue to feed a machine where contractors get rich and we don't really solve the problem. We just keep just enough to keep it going. They rise up, we push back. They rise up, we push back. You don't sustain the country and the world by doing that. You just don't. You don't do it. I mean, the king is saying that there's going to be retribution like ISIS hasn't seen. It's just, this goes on and on. The king told me that he didn't tell me. This is I didn't talk to the king. We're not on a speaking basis. But he did tell me, and me is the person that wrote this, which I believe I have at the end here. I will certainly credit them. He followed up personally on the case. The grieving father, this was just an awful, I'm burning somebody to death. You know what? It's amazing. Jordan is a member of the U.S.-led coalition that has been striking ISIS in Syria since past September. They indicated that it was considering an offer from the Islamic State to trade for the pilot. But now they're thinking the pilot may have been dead for months. A small nation of 6 million that shares borders with Syria and Iraq. Well, this is really going to be interesting. This is really, really, really going to be interesting. And Obama's got nothing on this. He's got nothing. He looks weak. He looks weak. Because here you've got other countries that are having problems with these scumbags. And what are they doing? They're doing something about it. What do we do about it? We talk. We sit around tables. We have discussions. We see what we can do. After careful consideration, we decided that giving the readers of FoxNews.com the option to see for themselves the barbarity of ISIS outweighed the legitimate concerns about the graphic nature of the video. Online users can choose to view or not to view the disturbing content. So you can view this if you want to view it, and you should view it. You know why you should view it? Because you got to know what you're up against. You can't listen to the sugar-coated media baloney. You can't do it. You got to get the information yourself. I've watched the video. I've watched it several times. They burned a man alive. That's what they did. These scumbag morons that are over there with impunity because no one wants to do anything about it because everybody's worried about being labeled a hater or a bigot or something of that nature. That's crap is what that is. That's just crap to perpetuate this ongoing madness that we call the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda and all these other splinter groups, if they were so hot that if they went anywhere, the place would be blown to smithereens and attacked, then trust me, they wouldn't be there. The people need to rise up over there. The governments need to rise up. This isn't just an American problem. This is a worldwide global problem. And the worldwide global community has to say, you know what? Cut the crap. Oh, this just goes on and on. It's very sad, and I don't know that I can get into it. We've got all kinds of people. There is no religion that accepts such an act. Islam is a religion of tolerance. It has nothing to do with Islam. This is a criminal act. Okay, then do it. Fix it. Rid yourself of this. I mean, all religions have had awful, awful things done to them and by them to others. All of them. You go from the Inquisition. You can go to what we have going on now in the Middle East. You can go to World War II and Hitler and all. You can go anywhere you want to go, and people will think that they're doing things in the name of God and things like that. But in every instance, you've got, even in slavery in America, you had the Underground Railroad. You've had people like Anne Frank. You had Schindler. You had Underground Railroads getting Jews out of Europe. You had people getting and helping people escape the Inquisition. They were helping getting not just Jews, but other people out of Germany and Europe and the grasps of the Third Reich. You know what I mean? I mean, there were people, we know of them now because the history has exposed that, and we've known about them since their inception. People have been killed for going against what their religion teaches for them to do. Where is that in the Middle East? Where is that Underground Railroad? Where is that diplomacy? Where are those groups? Where are they? I don't see them. I do see them sometimes, but I don't see them en masse. I just don't see them all over the place. The Associated Press got a lot of those quotes, and obviously Kathleen Heritage, I think it is, but I can't find it on here. Also, I think was the Fox News reporter on that article where I did take some information, both from the Associated Press as well as Fox News. Woo! What are we doing? It just doesn't make any sense to me why we would allow this cancer to be on the earth. And if the people in the region won't do anything about it, and I think you're going to start to see that they will, because this is what I always say, and it's interesting with liberals. It's almost like they want you, like Hillary says, we have to understand. I mean, they say that the Taliban isn't a terrorist group. This is what Hillary Clinton said, right? What kind of crap is that? Of course they're a terrorist group. They just went in and killed like 100 kids, didn't they? Didn't they? That's what you want to be your next president? That's what we got to offer? That and Jeb Bush, to let everybody in America who gives a crap about our immigration laws? He's just another Obama. He's Obama light. And Hillary's Obama heavy. Ooh, we're screwed, man. We got to find somebody else. I'll tell you that. Mr. Obama releases his $4 trillion budget about a week ago. Maybe not quite. Maybe it was just this Monday, wasn't it? Well, in any event, it doesn't really matter when. It's out there. 6-year public works program, tax credits for the middle class. What is this tax credits for the middle? Why don't we just take everybody file your own taxes. Everybody pay one rate, one percentage. Whatever that percentage is, 1%. The rich, the poor, everybody pays it. You got to pay it. Everybody just pay it. One amount. Do your tax returns on a piece of paper on an index card. It shouldn't be that complicated. I was looking at something about debt ceilings and debt limits and debt this and budgets federally right down in our town here in Northbridge. It is the most confusing thing you ever want to read. It's ridiculous. And it's set up that way it's on purpose. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know what they're doing. Government, man. Let's see. It's got tax credits for the middle class. It's got a pay raise for federal workers and a pay raise for the troops. Well, that's nice. It's good for the troops. Pay raise for federal workers. Yeah, you can't forget those. $23.5 billion in discretionary funds goes to agriculture. It's a lot of money in agriculture. They'll lose about $300 million this year under the president's spending plan. let's see, anything in here that's interesting? White House is proposing a new single federal agency in charge of food safety, consolidating the USDA and the Food and Drug Administration into a new entity within the Department of Health and Human Services. Well, sounds good, right? But are they going to cut jobs, or are they just going to solidify the power, or are they going to actually make that into something that would save some money? It provides additional, $61 billion for crop insurance to address what it calls climate-driven increases in extreme weather events such as drought and excessive moisture. So now you're going to pay for global warming that no one is really sure is going on, but something's happening. But you're going to pay for it, $61 billion, to make sure. So if their crops go, they'll be insured. What if you own a store and you buy the wrong product and it doesn't sell? Anybody insure you for that? Budget also provides additional funding for programs to combat the effects of climate change, including funding for watershed planning, helping farmers with water conservation initiatives and land treatment efforts for adaptation this just goes on and coastal flooding you could spend money anywhere, man. You could just keep spending money and spending money and spending money. That's what I'm saying about the town, guys. That's what I'm saying. Paul, relax. I don't want to spend $1 million and million and million and millions of dollars. I just want to get some money over there to see what we can get from the town. Paul. Commerce, $9.8 billion. Discretionary funds for them. Commerce Department would get $9.8 billion. Under the proposal, up from $8.8 billion. Just another billion. No big deal, guys. Just $1 billion. Don't worry about it. It's all right. The debt we're in is $18 trillion. I don't have the heart to update the opening because I'm disgusted by it, but that's okay. Obama once again embarked on an effort to persuade Congress to grant him freer hands. Oh, he does not need freer hands, man. This guy's got a pen. Remember, he's got a pen. That's what he's got. That's his weapon of choice, his pen. He has the strongest army in the world and could get rid of these terrorists in about probably 20 months, but he's going to use his pen. That's what he's going to use. Oh, my goodness. Defense. Let's see. What else we got? Defense. $585 billion. There's an overall boost in spending. 4% next year. Wasn't Obama going to cut this? These guys, from both sides, they're full of crap. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. All of them are full of crap. The crap level here is wildly out of control. Defense Department receives an overall boost. Let's see. Under Obama's proposal, the Pentagon would see its base budget for fiscal 16 increase to $534, up from $496. Oh, and that includes a 1.3% pay raise for 1.3 million active duty troops. The same percentage raise allotted for federal civilian workers next year. Really? We're going to give the civilian workers that work for the federal government, that's everybody that's not in the military, or some type of law enforcement, the same 1.3%. That's what you're going to give somebody. Hey, buddy, I know you make not much more than minimum wage, and you've been over there fighting a war that I've made sure you can't win, but, hey, I'm going to give you a 1.3% raise. What does he want, to thank you? A moron. I'm sorry, but the guy is just a moron. Pentagon Special War Fund, which shrank to $50.9 billion. This is because of the continued reduction of U.S. troops in Afghanistan, where we will have to go back when a new terrorist group uprises there and starts beheading and burning people to death. News at 11. In addition to paying for U.S. military operations in Afghanistan, the budget covers a large portion of the cost of training and maintaining Afghan security forces and a host of other expenses. So we'll arm them. Are we the stupidest people in the world that we actually let the government do this crap over and over and over again? Over and over and over again. North Korea is ready to nuke us. What do you want? Did you hear him in the news today? Education, $70.7 billion. And we can't fix the gym floor? Right? President Obama's education budget seeks new funds to provide for students at both ends of the spectrum, earlyhood child right through community college. An increase of the money spent to educate low-income K through 12 children. Why they need more money? Because they're low income? So do they learn differently? Do they not have wonderful teachers? Do they not have... What about all incomes if you're going to increase something? Why? Why do we equate money with better? Because we've been dumping money into education for a long time, and it hasn't gotten any better. That's the biggest argument I can't get over with this override thing. But we've level funded this thing too, don't forget. We haven't gone up every year. So you got to look at that too, Paul. All right, energy. I know, I'm setting it right up. He's going to, and I'm not even going to be here. So, guys, somebody's got to call and defend me. I'll have to call on my ride to where I got to go wish a very good friend of mine a happy birthday. Energy, $29.9 billion. 3.5 billion increase in the Energy Department's discretionary spending. Biggest part of the budget, 12.6, would go to the department's National Nuclear Security Administration to maintain the nuclear stockpile. It's going to reduce the threat of nuclear proliferation, nuclear terrorism, bolster the capabilities of the Navy in a nuclear capacity, and $5.8 billion to cleaning up Cold War nuclear sites. I'm running out of time, guys. I ain't going to make it through all of it. I couldn't get to the State of the Union. Health and Human Services, $83.8 billion. Oh, boy. Safeguard against the nation's food supply is among some of the things in this. The budget includes $4.9 for the Food and Drug Administration, 9% increase, $300 million for the agency to continue to implement far-reaching Food Safety Modernization Act signed by Obama in 2011, which improves the safety of both imported and domestically produced foods. The FDA, when are they going to get all the crap out of the food? How about that? Can we start there? I mean, all these, what are they, GMOs and OMGs and all this crap that I don't know anything about, but boy, I'm sure it's running through my veins like it is yours, and I don't think it's too good for us. But we're going to spend $83.8 billion. Monday's request would add, would add resources for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which is at the forefront of the U.S. Ebola response. Homeland Security, $41.2 billion. That's a scary number. And you want to know something? No information on what exactly it's for. How's that for something to leave you with for tonight, huh? Holy moly. Housing and Urban Development gets $49.3 billion. The Interior, I can't get into that because I don't have the time, but it's going to cost you $13.2 billion. Justice will be almost $29 billion. Labor. President repeating his call last year to boost minimum wage, $10.10 an hour. He's going to put $13.2 billion of your money into training and things like that. Administration wants to enhance the safety protections, state and other international programs. $50.3 billion. I know, $50.3 billion. Transportation's at $14.3. The Treasury's at $14.3. Veterans finally get something at $70 billion. It's on and on and on. I know, they're killing me, guys. I got to go. I got a lot of emails I didn't get to. My name's Gary Rosenberg. This is the Freedom Network. We don't always agree, but hey, we always have a good time. We'll see you next week, right here, NCTV 11, online, on TV. I'm Gary Rosenberg. Have a great night.